Welcome to the residence of Poyda, one of many community housings offered in Rider University. Poyda, like other buildings, is a unique community. It's only offered to first-year students so that the residents can have a great first-year experience, offering many different advantages to its residents, including a friendly environment, study lounges, parking, and a dedicated staff that is available 24/7.
Living in Poyda, first-year students, whether they're freshmen or transfer students, have the opportunity to live with other first-year students who are transitioning from high school into college. For some of them, this may be the first time, they may be the first person in their family to go to college. So they have the opportunity to interact with other students and hear about their experiences. And they also have the opportunity to work with a very dedicated and supportive staff who are specifically chosen to work in this community because of their interest in working with first year students. And so, going along with that, these RAs, the resident advisors, they do programs for the students who live here. So whether they're social programs, whether they may be a little bit more educational, well, I would say overall, it's a very friendly environment. We really try to make it feel like home. So I've talked with the staff about leaving their doors open and engaging with the residents when they walk down the halls. Say, hey, how's it going? How are your classes? So we try to create that space where students are comfortable walking throughout the building. And here in Poyda, we have two lounges. So we have our A lounge, which we have a TV in there, table, so students will, especially in the evenings, will come down and hang out, and whether it's play board games or if they're going to study for a little bit. We also have our C lounge, which is more of a quiet space, and students use more for studying because it doesn't have that added distraction of a TV if students are watching a movie or watching football games or anything like that.
Community housing provides resident advisors, students who live in the residence, who are there to help any of the residents with any troubles they're having, and also making sure to provide a friendly community. Here are some of the RAs describing their experience living in a building full of freshmen.
It's, fun, friendly. I think there's a lot of connections, especially, I'm an RA here, so on my floor, everybody really knows each other and stuff, so it's a really friendly, connected community.
Poyda is definitely a brand new experience. I worked with upperclassmen, all female community and Wright, and now I'm with all female community again, but just with freshmen. It's definitely a unique experience. It's a lot of work, but for the most part, it's pretty good. If you're really passionate about the RA job, this is definitely the experience that you want to have. Unlike all the other buildings, this is really where you get to shine as being a resident advisor.
Well, I drive, so having a parking lot right back there is a really nice advantage to living in Poyda Hall. Since I'm an RA, I also live here relatively cheaply, so that's another advantage to living in Poyda Hall for me. Since Poyda is a little bit isolated, you're sort of forced to interact with a lot of people inside a building, so you end up having really close relationships with people in the building. So I would recommend it for those who are looking for that kind of thing.
It was way better than I expected. I expected to hate all the freshmen. The first thing I think of when I think of freshmen is obviously dumb freshmen, because what else do you think of? But in all honesty, it was great. I've made way more connections with them than I expected to. Unfortunately, a lot of them are transferring, but I have a feeling a lot of them are going to want to stay in contact with me. A lot of them rely on me, and if they need me for anything, they know where to go to. And it's nice to be a resource that can actually help people other than just being a friend.
As the semester comes to an end, the current residents of Poyda begin to pack up and getting ready to start their lives as sophomores. They describe their first-year experience in Poyda, as well as some advantages it provided.
Upstairs is the Community Service Learning Center, so I would recommend it for that, and for the Psychology Learning Center. But it's mainly just freshmen, but we do get a bond. I know a lot more freshmen than I thought I would. So
the main advantage for me living in Poyda is that I'm a psychology major and I live right next to the psychology learning community, and I live with very cool people here.
Well, in college, you will end up going to either a really, really good dorm or one that's not as great. Poyda It's not the rock bottom one. It's pretty down low there. But you get the full college experience. There is a kitchen there and laundry room, which is full half the time because no one picks up their laundry. And then the kitchen, it needs a new kitchen. Let's just say that. They at least have one though.
Poyda's the best. Like, it's awesome, especially if you're on the first floor because you don't have to do anything like walk upstairs. Advantage living at Poyda is you get to be secluded from all the other dorms. It's not as quiet as you think over here, how secluded we are, because everyone's loud, especially outside, or especially when you have a roommate that snores. That's very loud.
Living in Poyda is very interesting because there's a lot of different people who live here.
It's a good place to live. It was an awesome freshman year experience.
It's interesting. It's different. You meet a lot of weird people here, but it's like a family-based environment, so you basically get to know everybody, and it's really tight-knit. It's kind of cool.
Well, I like the walk. I like the scenic view. I like how it's in the woods. You got the nice football field and soccer fields out in the back, so you can do some sports. The walk, it's a really good exercise from all the Daly's food. Whenever it hits rock bottom, you get to burn off all those calories from that like 10-mile walk back to your dorm.
One advantage is, you don't have to go to the gym. You got to walk, almost 20 minutes a day to go to just the dailies alone. You go twice a day, so.
No building is perfect, and nor are students always happy with what they have. Poyda is located away from all academic buildings and social buildings such as dailies and BLC. Here are some other complaints about Poyda students have given throughout the whole year.
Instead of having the normal amount that most buildings have of 3 floors, we have 4 floors. There's more stairs. Legit, my friend lives all the way at the top floor. I don't visit her because it's all the way at the top floor. So that's about the worst thing about Poyda, just so many steps they have.
I have to walk to Daly sometimes, which is far as hell, so.
Dailies is on the other side of campus. Most of the classes are on the other side of campus. It's too far of a walk. You shouldn't use public safety because it's meant for disabilities. In summertime and it's boiling hot in here, which is ridiculous. You feel like you're suffocating.
Well, I lived in Poyda when I was a freshman, and now being a resident advisor in the building, I would honestly say no, don't live in this community, just because just currently where the state of the school is right now, this community it's just difficult, especially if we're not an outgoing resident. You would probably do much better on the east side or Conover or even Kroner, just because you get to meet a whole lot of different students and everything's just so accessible, whereas in Poyda you're in the back of the campus by the sorority and fraternity houses and West Village back there. You're really secluded and all by yourself.
I don't really see any advantages. I only see disadvantages due to the distance you have to walk to dailies, the fact that public safety is always just patrolling around to get their alcohol bust, and just the fact that there's no water fountain, none of the vending machines really work, and they just don't. No one cares about anything, and the building's just not maintained in general. Poyda is the worst building on campus. I would not recommend it to anybody. I would just put an X on the doors of Poyda and not allow anybody to live in the building. It's so terrible.
Hearing these advantages and disadvantages on Poyda from students and resident advisors, Poyda is still like any other building offered in Rider University. But the question still remains, is Poyda a good residence to be offered for any upcoming students?
I actually think Poyda has the best community out of all the buildings because it is so isolated that a lot of the freshmen just make friends in the building and they don't have to go anywhere else except live in Poyda. Freshmen deserve the rock bottom of dormitories.
I would recommend Poyda to upcoming freshmen.
I would very much recommend Poyda because you only live with freshmen. So you get to know people you're going to be with for the next 4 years, which can be a good thing.
All the RAs and the RD always try to bring in new activities for all the residents to do because we all need to have 4 Poyda points by the end of the semester.
It's good.
It's lit.